So guys, for this tutorial I'm going to be making use of this fabric that I got from Hollandtex. I'm going to be using 4.5 yards. So guys, I'm going to use a piece of paper to quickly explain to you guys how to go about the folding of your fabric. Your fabric usually comes in two ways. You have the longer side and the shorter side here. So you're not going to be folding from border to border like this, which is the shorter length. Instead, you're going to be folding from the long side like this. So this way you'll be able to get the full length of your kimono without having to join it. So once you folded with the length you want your kimono to be, the next thing you're going to do is to fold it in again. This time you folded your fabric into 4. But if you are working with a fabric that has a pattern that when you fold it like this is not going to look okay, you will need to actually fold it the normal way and then join at the end. But if you are working with a normal fabric that the patterns, no matter how you fold it, is not going to look weird, you can fold it with the longer length like this. So that way the length of your kimono is just going to go straight without you joining anything. So for this particular fabric I was able to fold it into 4 from the longer direction. Okay, this is the upper neckline area and then this is the length of the kimono. I didn't have to join anything. So from the shoulder area, that's the upper fold, if you measure down, it gives me the length that I want this kimono to be. It's very long. You can see it's almost the same length as my tape rule. So now I'm going to turn this over as I folded it like this so that the neckline area will be towards me, so that it will not be hard for me to draw all the lines I want to draw. So now that the folded edge is facing my direction, I'm going to go ahead now and draw out my neckline and armhole. So from the center here, I'm going to go in by 3.5 inches for my neck width. I'll mark it here and then I'll mark 1.5 inch for now for the neck depth. I'm going to be drawing out the front neckline separately later. So I've joined the 2 points together to give me a round neckline. And now for the sleeve, normally if you're making a short kimono, whatever you have left here is supposed to be enough for us to get the sleeve. But for an oversized long kimono with long sleeves, we will need to join some extra fabrics to the sleeve area. But for now, for the sleeve width, I'm going to come down from the top by about 13 inches for the width of my sleeve. I'll mark it here. Okay, and then from the center of the fold I have, I'm going to go in by my bust measurement divided by 4. I made a mark here and then from this point I'm going to go out by some extra inches for ease. Now the amount of inches you go out by is going to depend on how wide you want your kimono to be. Because this is an oversized kimono and I want it to be very big, I am going to be using 6 inches. I marked it here now and I'm going to connect from this 6 inches point to meet my armhole. So now I'm going to take a measurement from the center of my fold to this new line I just drew, and I'm going to take this measurement all the way to the end. You can decide to use the exact measurement straight, or you can decide to go out a little bit more, that's making your kimono more open at the end as you go down. This is totally up to you. So now I'm done drawing out the armhole and the side. The next thing we are going to do is to cut out following the white lines, both on the side and on the neckline.
Let me take you back to a time when love was as precious
guys, I'm done cutting this out now. This is the front and the back cut out together, and this is what the full length of my kimono is looking like. I'm just going to trim off the ends as well. I gave it a lot of allowances at the end, so even though I cut this off, my kimono is still going to be very long. So guys, now that we're done cutting it out, I'm going to determine the length I need to add to the sleeve I already have here. So from the center of this fabric, I measured half of my shoulder measurement and I made a mark there. So from that shoulder measurement, I am going to take the measurement I want the full length of this sleeve to be, which is 24. So I counted the excess on my tape to know the exact inches I will need to add to this sleeve that is already here to complete it to the length I want it to be. Now for the neckline area, remember that we've only drawn out the back neckline, so we have not done the opening that we need to do in front. Since what we have drawn out here is both the same on both ends, so you can just go ahead and open up the neckline area of your fabric like this, like I'm doing here. Open it up from the center and it's going to look exactly like this. It's nothing special that I'm doing here, so just fold it from the center and you have the neckline looking like this in the middle. So to open up the front, I'm just going to cut from the center of the neckline on one side of this kimono, and I'm going to take this cut all the way to the end of the fabric. So that way I've created an opening for the front area. So guys, I'm done cutting out the opening now, and if I arrange it from the shoulder area, you see how it's already looking like a kimono. You see how we now have an opening on the center. So this is what it's supposed to look like. So guys, back to the sleeve area, I'm just going to go ahead and open up the sleeve wide like this. I have cut out the extra piece to complete the sleeve. It was about 10 inches long. So I'm going to go ahead and place this on my sleeve, right sides facing each other. And I'm just going to head over to the sewing machine and join it to complete the length of my sleeve. After I was done joining it down, this is what I had here. I even went ahead to serge it to make it very neat. And for the end, I went ahead to fold it up. So now the length of my sleeve is now what I desire, which is 24 inches long. So you can see what I have here. So you can see the full length of the sleeve now. So guys, now that the sleeve is done, the next thing I'm going to do is from the sleeve area through to the armhole and the body of the kimono, I'm just going to go ahead and pin it down so that I will go ahead and stitch down the sides of this kimono on the sewing machine.
Where if you search you would find it. I know that times have changed, but I don't wanna play no games, baby. I'll treat you.
So now I'm going to go back to the sewing machine and I'm going to make a stitch starting from the sleeve here through the armhole all the way to the side, and I'll do the same thing for the other side of the kimono. So this is what I had after I was done joining the sides of the kimono. Now you know that the only part that we have left to work on here is the neckline. And for the neckline, it's very simple. You're just going to stitch a band all the way around the neckline. So I've measured around the neckline from one end of the kimono in front to the other end, and the measurement I got was around 3 yards. So that was what I used for the length of this band that I cut out. Now for the width of the band, I have about 4 1/4 inch here. I already ironed this band in a fold, as you can see, so it's going to be very easy to just stitch this band around the neckline. So from the end of my kimono, I'm just going to place this band all the way through. So I will start from the very end. Make sure that when you're placing this, you're also placing them right sides facing each other. So I'm going to place the band on the neckline like this, starting from the end of one side of the front, and I'm going to take it through the neckline and then to the other end as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and make a stitch all the way around, and lastly I'll just finish the end of the kimono, which is just to fold all the way around the end, and basically that will be all for this. So for now, I'm going to just head over to the sewing machine and stitch this all the way around the neckline. So guys, I'm done stitching it around the neckline, and this is what I have. You can see what it's looking like on both sides. So that's basically all for the making of this kimono, and of course I've gone ahead to secure the ends as well. So that's all for the making of this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.